and confidence the investors have shown to IPL. I'm sure at IPL we will now work with even more responsibility, zeal and enthusiasm in the best interest of all our stakeholders. At the onset, I hope that all of you and your family members are safe in these unprecedented times. World over, there are mixed signs of improvement in the COVID-19 situation. With increasing vaccination on one side and newer variants on the other, we at IPL have been able to smoothly navigate ourselves throughout the pandemic with the foremost priority on the health and safety of our workers and employees. It is only because of our team efforts that we have been able to achieve such robust growth and profitability even during these volatile times. As a matter of good corporate governance measure, I would like to clarify and state on this platform some questions that we have been receiving from some of our investors. I would like to state on the record that the gross remuneration of our CEO is rupees 9.18 million per annum and that of our CFO is rupees 3 million per annum. Further, one of our independent directors retired in February 2021 due to preoccupation as he was director in 7 listed companies. As per applicable law, a person cannot be a director in the more than 7 listed companies. Hence, in order to comply with the above regulations, he resigned from the board of our company. As his continuation on our board would have resulted in him being a director on 8 listed companies. With the resignation of the independent director, one of our executive directors was also required to resign to meet the applicable board composition norms of a listed company. Further, some fractional percentage share of the company were issued in the month of January 2021. These shares were issued by following the applicable provisions of the Companies Act 2013 and have been duly disclosed in the offer documents. Further, one of our R&D facilities is situated on the land owned by a group company. For the said use, a lease agreement was entered into more than 10 years. Please note that the DSI recognition of the said R&D lab is the name of India Pesticides Limited only, and the said lab is used exclusively for our company's operation. Moving forward, our focus will continue to be on accelerating growth with sustained building new age capabilities, strengthening our work ethos and making our business model more and more resilient. We are witnessing a stable growth for our products and operation efficiency. We are engaged by the growing scale and the scope of transformational opportunity ahead of us. We have better visibility in the business and our pipeline continues to be strong, ensuring our strong start to FY22. I am sure we will be able to deliver sustainable growth with balanced profitability in this fiscal year too. With this, I pass it on to Mr. Jain.
Hello. Thank you very much, sir. Good morning to everyone. Our strong start to the financial year 22 underscores the resilience of our business model and the continued commitment of our team. For the quarter, our revenue was up 46% and our EBITDA margin was up 70% on year-on-year basis. At micro level, the pandemic has re-emphasized the importance of agro and other specialty chemicals for the humanity at large, and the industry continues to provide ample growth opportunity. As you know, China plus one policy, and this is continuing to remain a high growth factor for the Indian chemical industry. Our key strategy is to keep focus on niche molecules and keep innovating by way of better R&D focused product re-engineering to deliver top-notch quality products to our customers. Our focused execution of our strategy, supported by improving macroeconomic indicators and market sentiment, positions us well as a strategic partner to our customers looking to have sustainable, dependable partner. This is helping us gain market share and command better pricing. Let me now take you through some of our key recent developments. I am pleased to state that our wholly owned subsidiary has received allotment of approximately 25 acres of land for setting up a third plant. We have already initiated process for the registration of the land and would soon apply for necessary environmental clearances. Also, as I stated earlier, we have a few products in pipeline at our existing site. We have launched 2 new technical products in this quarter, which are well ahead of their initially planned schedule. These products are being sold to some of our existing customers as well as to new customers. Towards our commitment to follow best safety, health and environmental practices, we have submitted our application to EcoVadis. We have uploaded all the data required and are expected to have the registration in the coming quarter. This will significantly boost our onboarding new customers, especially in the export market. With this, I would like to pass on to Mr. S.P. Gupta to walk through our Q1 financial highlights. Mr. S.P. Gupta.
Thank you, Jain sir. Good morning to everybody on the call. A strong start to the new fiscal with a broad-based growth is a testimony to the focused and successful execution of our strategy. On a standalone basis, YOY, the revenue grew by 46% to 170 crores and EBITDA has grown by 70% to 59 crores. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, the revenue grew by 28% and EBITDA grew by 55%. EBITDA margin on YOY basis moved from 30% to 35%, and on Q-on-Q basis, it has moved from 29% to 35%. Due to this, year-on-year, our profit after tax grew by 72% to 42 crore on standalone basis. EPS grew to 3.6 from rupees 2.19 per share of a face value of rupees 1 each. The ROE has increased from 35% to 39% and ROCE has increased from 47% to 54% on a year-on-year basis. The cash and cash equivalent on the books were rupees around 60 crore as on 30th June. We are net debt free on 30th June. This quarter, the company had demonstrated strong top and bottom lines, primarily because of better pricing and yield improvement. Over to Krishnanji. Hello. Just a minute. On that note, I conclude my remarks and we will glad to discuss any question that you may have. I would now like to ask the moderator to open the line for question and answer session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Himanshu Zenani from Antique Stock Broking. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Good morning. So, sir, congratulations on a very good set of numbers. So, I just have one question basically, and this is regarding to the margin side. So, we have actually seen a substantial improvement into the margins, both in the gross as well as into the EBITDA margin side. So, just wanted to understand the reason behind it and how sustainable these are going forward. Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir. We could get better margins this quarter. This is because of two, 3 points. Number one was that we could get better operational efficiency, and number two, we could get better margin because we made some special grade products, which we could get better price in the market. That is why the margins are up, and we hope that this will be sustainable.
So, sir, going forward, how should one look at the margins profile, both on the gross margins as well as on the EBITDA margins in the medium
The
term?
margins what we have reported, they will be more or less in the same range.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one now. The next question is from the line of Nikhil Gunta from Nippon India Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, sir. Thanks for this opportunity and congratulations on a good set of numbers. Sir, two questions from my side. One is, we have launched 2 new technicals during the quarter. So if you can throw some light on those 2 new products, the market, would it be similar customer, and what was the size of those markets? And second question was your view on the upcoming Kharif season. I know ours is majorly export driven, but what's your view being based in UP? So I believe you would be in a better position to give us a view on that as well.
The 2 products what we have soft launched now, they are for domestic as well as for export markets. And presently there is good domestic demand, so we are able to cater to the domestic needs, and they are quite reasonably good molecules, and we will continue to get volumes in these molecules.
Okay, and our margins, I believe our share of herbicide was higher during the quarter, right?
Pardon?
A share of herbicide sale was higher during the quarter, correct?
Yeah, that is true. Because the initial season, when there is sowing, the herbicide use is little more, and thereafter the insecticide sale starts.
Correct. And margin, as you indicated, will continue to remain in the similar range of what we have reported in this quarter.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And sir, your view on the upcoming Kharif season in India? I mean, the monsoon has been very erratic.
Yeah.
So, being based in the hub of the agri, your views on that?
Yeah, monsoon has been delayed and it is a bit erratic. But as the time is progressing, the monsoon is getting averaged out over the years. So that is why the sales will pick up now.
So do you expect this Kharif season to be similar to what we had, say, last year or 2 years back? Or do you see the growth of the industry in this Kharif coming down?
Yeah, I think, sir, it will grow. It will be more than last year's consumption. That much true.
Okay.
The overall industry is growing at 7 to 8% per annum. Indian industry itself.
Okay. And the last question, I believe the margins in herbicide is higher compared to insecticide for us. So going forward, do you see the share of herbicide growing in our total revenue pool, or it will remain stable at what we are currently?
Sir, we have a mix of products, herbicides as well as fungicides, and both will grow together. And the margin, sometimes one is low, one is high, but it keeps on moving here and there. But overall, the margins will be there.
Got it. And by when do you expect this the reply from EcoVadis? I mean, your internal assessment?
Sir, we have already uploaded all the data required for that, and we got a feedback from that. Because this is a COVID period, it may take little time, maybe 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, sir. That's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ankur Periwal from Axis Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, sir. Thank you and congratulations for a good set of numbers. So first question on the on the revenue growth in this quarter. You did mention, the launch of 2 technicals here and probably, some bit of domestic contribution. So how much of the revenue growth here is coming from the existing products and from the newer one? If you can help us sort of, bifurcate that.
It's a new one we have just launched recently, and we have done the seed marketing to our existing customers and to some few new customers. And the full-fledged effect will come by March next year.
So you said full-fledged impact by March next year, so by Q4 of this financial year.
या Q4 तक आएगा पूरा, लेकिन अभी अब धीरे धीरे इम्प्रूव हो रहा है और अभी हमने सीड मार्केटिंग की है.
Good, sir. And sir, जो आपने the products that we had launched in the last, let's say 1-2 years, is there a ramp up there which is seeing, or the older one also growing at a similar pace?
The older one is also going in the similar pace, sir. We are now presently in the process of expanding the capacities of even our existing products.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. That's helpful. The new plants, which you are referred to, wherein we are expanding the capacity, by when do you expect them to be commissioned? Any delays there because of COVID? Any timelines you can share will be helpful.
Yeah, our schedule is to get it done by February. So maybe maximum by March end it will be ready. Initially we had some little delay in supplying some of the equipment from our equipment vendors, but now things have improved and now everything is coming up.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. And sir, lastly, on the margins front, now some of the peers, or we are seeing some bit of inflation on the raw material side here. This quarter, numbers that look pretty impressive on a year-on-year basis. Are you seeing any inflationary trend in your raw material on the raw material side? And if at all, that will be immediately passed through as a price hikes as well?
Yeah, we are not seeing any major raw material inflationary trend in the raw material what we are buying. And if there is any marginal, we will certainly pass it on to our customers.
Okay, that's helpful, sir. Thank you. Thanks for all your answers and all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rikin Shah from Omkara Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. I just wanted to ask, how do you see the export segment going forward? Like if you could give us some color of the breakdown in future. And how is the China Plus One commentary? Is it still strong now in our industry?
Yeah, China Plus One policy, sir, certainly it is in place and we are getting a lot of inquiries and we are already working in that line only. And our export potential is also quite good. Absolutely, there is no problem in that count.
So, like, how do you foresee, like, any breakdown if you could give in the future?
Pardon, I will pass it on to just a minute.
Sure. I think so our exports are going to be in the same percentage what we are foreseeing. It's going to be around 50 to 60% of exports on a top line basis.
All right. And if you could give me some color on the 2 new technical molecules that we are launched, like the opportunity size, how big could it be for us?
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
The 2 new molecules that we've launched, like what could be the opportunity size of them?
The 2 new molecules what we have introduced, one is an herbicide and one is an insecticide. And there is a very good opportunity. We see by next year, one molecule should get at least 80 to 100 crores. And the other molecule should get at least 30-35 crores.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Atishay Malhan from Drone Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, good morning. Am I audible?
Good morning.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
please continue.
Thank you for taking my questions and congratulations on a great Q1. I have a few basic questions just to understand the business a bit better. Firstly, pertaining to the technicals business. So in this business segment, do you primarily operate via short-term contracts with your clients? And if so, what is the typical length of these contracts?
No, normally our major business is a long-term contract having 5 to 7 years. And part of the business is short-term, but the major of the equipment is long-term only, sir.
Right. So, I mean, you just, to a previous participant, you had mentioned that if there is an increase in the raw material prices, you can pass it on to your clients. How frequently does that price negotiation happen? I guess what I'm trying to get a better sense of is how insulated the business is to increasing raw material prices.
Yeah, normally what happens, we have in the contract the clause there that if there is a change in the raw material pricing or any other changes, we can renegotiate, and normally we sit every quarter or every half year depending upon the change, and then we work out the new price and then it gets effected.
Right, fair enough. So there's like a quarterly lag essentially.
Yeah.
Right, but sir, does this also work the other way around? Let's say the raw material prices do decrease. Can the clients also renegotiate a decrease in prices?
Yeah, certainly, sir. So obviously, because the customer would always like to see that this purchase price is lower, but if there is a reduction,
fair enough.
Then,
so the absolute.
But what we have to see that not only the raw material cost, but the overall production cost, the maintenance and the manpower, everything. So we take into consideration all the costs required, and based on that we work out.
Right. So the is it correct to understand that the absolute gross profit is then maintained, and then based on the increase in volumes, the absolute gross profit would then increase?
Yeah, certainly.
Right. Fair enough, sir. Thank you. I have a few more questions, but I think I'll just come back in the queue.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Siddharth Gadekar from Equirus Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello. Yeah. Hi, sir.
Hello.
So my first question is regarding your split between active ingredients and formulation for the quarter, and what kind of growth have we seen YOY in these two segments?
But technical sales during this quarter was around 70%, and formulation is around 30%. Since this quarter is primarily focused in India, so formulation sale is slightly higher in Q1 and Q2.
Okay, got it. So, and in terms of freight, have we seen any higher cost because of freight? Because that is not reflecting in our margins. Our margins have improved sequentially as well. So there were no issues in terms of freight and logistics?
No. Freight and logistic, there is no effect on margins. There was slight delay in some containers for maybe 1 week delay in export container, but now these has been resolved. Earlier in May, there was some delay in arrangement of containers. But freight is we are exporting to many customers on FOB basis. So the freight is taken care of by them only.
Okay, so got it. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amar Maurya from AlfAccurate Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for the opportunity, sir, and congratulations for a very good set of numbers. Sir, my first question is on the technical side. Broadly, if we see the overall growth in our revenue was largely linked to the capacity expansion of our technical business. And we had been able to do a very massive expansion from 1920 to 21. So if you, sir, wanted to understand how the expansion would be in terms of the capacity in 22, 23 and 24 on the technical side. If you can give me the percentage, that is okay for me.
Hello. Yes, sir. We already have a big plan for expansion of our capacity in our existing plants, as well as we have bought a new piece of land, as I informed earlier. And going forward, we will be having new products at the new site. So our capacity will keep on increasing year by year.
So let's say, if our technical capacity today is 100, in 22 it will be what? At least increasing by, or already increased by 20-30%?
It will increase, sir. It will increase by at least 20%.
20% in 22. And
yes.
And you will have the further space for 23, because I believe the new plant which you indicated will at least take more than a year to come on the surface, right?
Yeah, that is true. Because first we have to go to Ministry of Environment.
Correct.
To get the environment clearance.
Correct.
Then we need to take. So it will take at least 1 to 1.5 years.
Correct. So that is the reason, sir, as you indicated in 22, capacity will at least increase by 20%. And will you be having the further space in the existing plant to increase the capacity further by 20% in 23?
In 23, also we have a plan. So we have 2 years plan at our existing site. This year and the next year we have got the capex plan for the existing site. And thereafter at the new site. In between we will be spending some amount on the plant, the land acquisition, its registration and the land development and other initial expenses.
Okay. And sir, if I can squeeze 2 more questions. Number one is, what would be the capex which we will be doing for 22 to 23 for this existing plant, and what would be the broad capex for the new plant?
Yeah, we will be having this next year for our existing site. We have planned a capex of about 80 crores. And for the new site, it will be 300 to 350 crores in 2-3 years time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And sir, sorry to again harp on the margin front. I just wanted to understand a little bit more on the margin and the profitability. So, sir, what I can see here is that overall your RMC to sales broadly remain same in the 21 and versus 18. So basically the broader change which has happened from the operating leverage play. So is it like, as you improve your scale, you don't think so that you will need to deploy more, marketing, sales, employee, new plant, commissioning? So what gives you confidence that, this 28-29% kind of a margin is going to sustain going forward?
See, our majority of our turnover is on technical sales, which is sold to MNC on contract.
Okay.
So do not have to incur higher marketing expenses. Which is in formulation business, it will be current quarter 30%, long term it will be around 22%.
Okay.
It will be there.
Okay.
And our operations, our capacity of existing plant increases and fixed expenses does not increase in the same ratio.
Correct.
So we are quite confident that our margin will be in this range only.
Okay. Got that. Thanks a lot, sir. I have few more, but I'll come back in queue. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of S. Ramesh from Nirmal Bang. Please go ahead.
Good morning, and thank you very much. My first thought is, we're looking at your current working capital cycle. Can you share some light on that in terms of the inventory, receivables, and the net working capital cycle?
Yeah, per debtors days, they are in the same range as what in the March 31st, around 140 days. It has declined from 190 days in financial year 19. Inventory level has slightly moved up in the June, since we are doing a lot of Kharif sales through our branches in India, but it will normalize after second quarter.
Okay. So, and the second thing is looking at your exports, which you said is on contract. Can you share with us what is the duration of this contract and what percentage of your technical sales is on contract?
Contract will be contributing around 40 to 50% of our entire turnover.
40 of
overall turnover. Maybe technical sales will be around 70.
So look at your the margins you are enjoying on your contracts. It's earning margins which are much higher than other companies which have entered into the contracting business. Is it based on an asset-light model where they, give you some financial assistance for setting up the capacity, or do you have to set up the capacity and then capacity for a certain period? And what is it? If you can throw some light on that.
Just
Sure. So technically, the molecules that we select it is a function of this. Since we are into niche molecules and we get a better margin, better price for this kind of contracts, and we are more of a sustainable partner with our customers on this part of business for them, and that is why we are able to command a better pricing in our contracts as compared to our peers.
Yeah, I understand that. So we just want to understand, how your business model works. So do you have to block some of your capacity in what is normally described as a multi-purpose plant, and do you enter into a contract say for 5 to 7 years, and does that give you stability in the margin? So I just want to understand in terms of how long is a normal contract, and do you have to invest in capacity for each contract?
So normally these contracts we enter in with our customers is long term, 5 to 7 years, and we have in general we have a policy to have a dedicated plant for these products. And initially what we do that we agree upon a certain price, and based on that then we keep on with the variation depending upon the overall cost. There can be minor reduction or increase in the price of the product. That is how we work with the customers.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll join the queue and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ashish Thakkar from Motilal Oswal Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Sir, is there a seasonality in our business in the sense that each Kharif season forms a large part of our total business?
Our first half contributes around 52% of annual sales. Our export sales is equally spread around the year, but inland sales, because of this Kharif season, it is heavy towards the first half of the year. Slightly.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Sir, and we do a concentrated portfolio of around 8 to 10, 12 products. And we were wanting to double this portfolio. So if you could share any timelines as to what is in your mind by when we can see, the portfolio getting doubled in terms of what we have?
Sir, actually we have a pipeline of products already under execution, and we have already soft launched 2 molecules this quarter itself, and other molecules would be joining by December and then by March end. And by next year, by July, August, we will be having a portfolio of about 8 products. So our product portfolio will increase from present 8 to 9 to almost 17, 18 products.
Okay. Okay. So, and any update on thiocarbamate you would like to give how that product has behaved?
Pardon?
Any update on thiocarbamate? How that product has behaved?
We have a range of thiocarbamate fungicides as well as herbicides, and they are doing quite well.
Okay. Okay. So just last question in terms of, again, dwelling on this margin side. So you said EBITDA margins should broadly be maintained at the current rate. So if you could, on the revenue side, if you could help us give breakup of volume and the pricing, that would be helpful.
Our volume this quarter rose by 39%, including this technical and formulation. And value-wise, we have risen by 44%. So per unit realization has slightly improved during this quarter.
Okay. Fair enough. This is very helpful. Thank you, sir, and all the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Madhav Mehta from Fidelity International. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Good morning, and thank you so much for your time. I just wanted to check that on the new molecule pipeline, if there was any developments which have gone ahead, and for the next phase of capex which you were planning, because I think some of our plants are already running at 90% utilization. So just wanted to understand if any plans have been drawn up for the next phase of capex for the company.
Yeah, sir, actually, we have already launched 2 products this quarter, and remaining products are already 6 more products are in the pipeline which are under execution, which will be coming in the market by this year end as well as maybe in first quarter of the next year. And we have already have a plan for expansion of our existing product line also. So, and the capex what we have planned is 70 crores this year and 80 crores next year also. And apart from this, we have got new site which has been allotted to us, and the work on that is starting, and after 2 years we will be having a capex of about 3 to 350 crores there in over a period of 2 to 3 years.
So the land has already been allotted to us for the new site that
Yes,
we are planning?
yes, it has been allotted to us. We have to get it registered, but it has been allotted. We already received the allotment letter for about 25 acres of land, 1 lakh some 1,000 square meters.
Understood. And the other question I had was that for our key products that we are selling, in the current environment, is there any product where the pricing is abnormally high due to any supply squeeze in the market where there is risk of correction, or they are normal?
It is not abnormally high, sir. We are selling at the market prevailing prices only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Deepak Poddar from Sapphire Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for the opportunity. So just wanted to understand more on the revenue front. Now we have told in the past that a reasonable growth going forward is not a challenge for us. And last 2-3 years we have grown at a CAGR of around 38-39%. And given the capacity expansion also we are into. So a similar kind of CAGR or any comment on that would be quite helpful if we have to look for next 2 to 3 years.
Our next 2 to 3 year growth will be mainly driven by our capex. So we are projecting FAR of around 3, 2.5 to 3. So suppose we expand around 150 crore during the next 2 years, so days will be generating around 300 crore in the third year. 2.5 times of our capex.
So our capex you mentioned on the new site is about 300 to 350 crores. So that can incrementally generate 750-800 crores of top line?
Yeah. But that will come from third year onward, third, fourth, and fifth year from now.
Right. But the kind of CAGR we have seen in the past. So, so given the market, and so are we confident or
that CAGR last year, I think it's 3 years 35%, but it will slightly moderate based on. But it will be robust based upon capex of better than industry average, far better than industry average.
Fair enough. I got it. That's it from my side. All the way best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Mithun Soni from JC Investments. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, Anand, Jain sir and Anji. Congratulations on good numbers. So just some clarifications. I got most of the answers. What would be the sales mix you said will be domestic and export for the company for the quarter?
Domestic and export sale is roughly 50%, sir.
50% is domestic this quarter and 50% export?
Yeah.
Okay. And second, you said that the capex for this year, 70 to 80 crores is at the existing Sandila plant, right?
Existing site, yes.
And how much
this year and 80 crores next year?
80 crores this year, 80 crores next year at Sandila plant. And how much will be at the new plant, what you're talking this year, including land?
This year it will not be very substantial, maybe around 20-25 crores, sir. But next year onwards it will increase because this year. Pardon?
For the land also you are counting this, or land has already been paid?
For the land we have to pay to the government, and then we have to do some preliminary land clearing and land development work. So that would be there, and parallelly we will be applying for environmental clearance.
So should I take, say, 30 crores for the new, towards the land and all that, and 80 crores, so 110 crores total capex this year?
This year, yeah. This year we have told 70 crores, not 80. We have planned 70 this year and 80 next year.
No, sir. My question is, that is the capex of Sandila. You said it's 80 or 70.
No, there is some confusion at Sandila. This year it is 70. Next year is 80.
Correct. And for the Kanpur, it is
on the Kanpur side, it is about 30 this year. Mostly this year, because now we will be doing all the developmental work.
Perfect, sir. Perfect. So that is fair. And just a second, any new major customer we have added during the quarter?
New major customer, we have added. We have already added, and we are in discussion with a few more US companies.
Okay. And so can we say that with these new 5 to 6 products that will come, our customer bouquet will also increase, so the dependence on any one particular customer will further come down?
Yeah, it will come down. It will certainly come down. We will increase the bouquet of our customers, certainly.
Okay. And fair. Perfect, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Alisha Mahawla from Envision Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Good morning, and thank you for taking my question. So firstly, on the capex, I would like to understand that the brownfield that we're doing and the greenfield that you're proposing to do, is that all for technicals, or is there some component of formulations also?
No, it is mostly technicals and intermediates and specialty chemicals.
Okay. Okay, got it, sir. And sir, do we export our formulations, or is formulations only domestic?
No, the formulations are both mixed, madam. Actually, it is domestic. The branded sales are in domestic, and for the bulk formulations, our customers they require sometimes, so we export in bulk to the various countries.
Okay. Yeah. And so your presentation and even at the IPO, you mentioned that you're the sole manufacturer for 5 technicals. What would be the size of these 5 technicals products that you manufacture, and are these is this continuing to grow, or is this more of a stagnant market? Or if you could just give some comment on that.
The market is growing actually for our technicals. What we are manufacturing, the market is growing. Our customers, they want us to increase the capacity of our existing plant, and we are also undertaking these activities.
I'm speaking specifically for the 5 technicals that for which we are the sole manufacturers.
Pardon?
I'm asking about the 5 technicals for which we are the sole manufacturers.
Yeah. Yeah, we are increasing the capacity, and we are working on that volume increase for these 5 molecules.
Okay. And is there any rough market size that you could comment on for these 5? Some indication what would be the market size or addressable market for these 5 technicals?
Market size, madam, it is difficult to tell. It is a broad.
Okay, no problem, sir. And
market actually it is increasing, so it is growing every year.
Okay, got it. And so the last question that I would like to ask was that if you could just help us understand that while you said that YOY the volume growth was almost more than 30%, if you see Q on Q also the revenue has grown very, very substantially. Is it because there was a lot of inventory stocking from our customers, or is this more of a sustainable demand? What was Q on Q jump of more than 20% in our revenue?
Madam, our Guptaji will answer this. Last year there was some disturbance due to lockdown, but this year, this demand is normal. The current year what we have achieved. Last year there may be 3 to 4% abnormal decrease due to restriction on movement on first of month.
No, sir. I'm asking from Q4, that is from the March ended quarter to the June ended quarter, we've grown 28%.
Yeah,
the revenue. So you're saying this was because of some lockdown restrictions in Q4?
No. Q4 and Q1 there was no lockdown, there was no restriction. We have expanded capacity of our product in last year, and current this quarter it is peak of Kharif season. So our as already informed, our sales growth is higher in this first and second quarter of the year as compared to last quarter. On domestic front it is slightly dull every year.
Understood. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Atifray Malhan from Zone Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Is it possible to bifurcate the revenue in Q1 between technicals and formulations?
Technical, it is around 70% and formulation 30%.
Right, 70.
Long-term trend or be when it is formulation heavy in the first half of the year. Normal trend is 78% technical and 22 formulation.
Right, sir. Thank you for that. If I'm looking at your investor presentation, and I'm looking at the capacity augmentation you have done between the formulations and the technicals business. So it is much more in the technical side of the business versus the formulations business segment. And your current split between technicals and formulations is about 75-80% technicals. If you could just comment on what you see the split being, let's say 3-4 years down the line, and the focus of the company, is it more going to be towards the technicals or the formulations business?
It will be in the normal trend only. It is around 78% technical, 22% formulation. We will be growing at the same rate in technical as well as in formulation. Suppose we grow around, say, 25% in technical, we will grow the same percentage in formulation also. Formulation is slightly lower capex business.
Right. And sir, am I correct in assuming that the technical business has higher margins than the formulation business and has higher return on investment?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have little more margin in technicals than in formulation, and we are going. Our focus is more on technicals and APIs.
Right. Right. So just one last question from my side. It's about the formulation business. Just a basic question. Is there any concentration in the formulations business regarding the states that you operate in?
We are working across India. We are present in 15 states presently across India, and we want to grow this and make our presence pan-India.
Right. So is it possible for you to share the number of distributors you're currently working with?
Yeah. We have more than 3,500 distributors, and we have got 20 depots of our own.
Right. Okay. I think that's all from my side. Thank you so much, and good luck going forward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rohit Nagraj from Emkay Global. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity and congrats on good set of numbers. So we have a very, exponential capex plan over the next few years. So in terms of the management bandwidth, how are we currently placed, and are we taking any steps in terms of expanding our marketing bandwidth, both for domestic markets as well as for our international operations? Thank you.
Yeah, certainly, sir. Certainly, when the business is growing, obviously the setup has to grow, and we are taking proper steps to augment all these various aspects like marketing as well as manufacturing and maintenance and domestic sale as well as for R&D. Everywhere we are taking those steps.
Right, understood. So the second question is in terms of the capex that we plan. So what is the basis on which we usually go in for expansion? So is it that our existing capacities are completely filled and we need to add more capacities, or there is some kind of a ROC or payback period that we are looking at? And when we are finalizing certain products, so what are the criteria that we look? These are immediate off-patent products, or probably the domestic market size is X, and there is an opportunity for exports. So what are the criteria that we predominantly look when we are going in for the next leg of expansion? Thank you.
Sir, number one is that mostly what happens that we work with so many customers we are working, and we have continuous discussions with them, and during discussions we get to know their requirements of existing products as well as for the new products, and then we see the synergy what we have with our existing setup, with our capacities and capabilities, and based on that, and then what volumes our customer requires, we work out, and then we take up the product for development. And once we take up for development, we have a mutual agreement type thing with the customer, so that when we start production, we can immediately send them the material. That is how we keep on working, and based on that, we work on the capex model. And we already have discussions with so many customers for a few number of molecules. So we are working on those molecules, as well as we are working on the expansion of our existing molecules, because the existing customers are also asking for the more products, because they see a good growth opportunity in these products.
Right, that is helpful. So, and in terms of our capacity fill up, so normally in how many years do we optimally utilize our capacity once the expansion is done?
Normally it is about 2 to 2.5 years, sir. I think it should be complete. Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot for answering the questions, and best of luck, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll take the last question from the line of S. Ramesh from Nirmal Bang. Please go ahead.
Thank you for taking this question again. Just wanted to get your thoughts on your estimate of the asset turn. So when you look at this 2.5 to 3 times on your investment, this capex is on the gross block or on the total assets, including whatever increase in working capital you have?
No, it is on gross block only.
Okay. The second thing is
we have to take additional.
Okay. So, and the second thing is, if you look at your overall margins, is it possible to share with us what is the kind of additional spreads or margins you get on exports or the contract business compared to the other business? Because clearly there is possibly some difference in the margins you are earning compared to the domestic market. So, can you share us the delta you are earning on that?
No, pricing on domestic as well as export are in the similar range. Even in margin, our contract, non-contract business, they are also on similar range. Is there not much differential.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. All the best.
Thank you. That was the last question. I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Thank you everyone from the IPL team for connecting with us. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you so much. Hope you all remain safe.
Thank you. On behalf of JM Financial, that concludes this conference. Thank you everyone for joining us, and you may now disconnect your line.